We're going to do some basic color correcting in Premiere. It's really easy. And matter of fact, I think Premiere does a better job at color correction than Photoshop. So we're going to start with evaluating the color in our video. So here I am sitting in the office here. And, it looks kind of flat. Colors look a little off. This wall is supposed to be white. It's yellow. That's not good. This is, I think, some kind of neutral gray, and it don't look that neutral. So we need to correct this stuff. So to help evaluate our video, we're going to open up our Luma scopes. So we're going to go up to Window and go down to Luma scopes. And there they are. So I want you to open up the same scopes. So you see this wrench tool right here? Click on that. And then put a check mark on Vector Scope YUV, a check mark on Parade, and a check mark on Waveform. And once you open up those, go down to Parade Type, click on RGB, that's full color, and then Waveform Type, click on Luma, that's black and white, that's the gray tones. So our first scope is the Luma Waveform. It's showing the dark and the light in the image. 0 is the darkest area, and 100 is the lightest area. So that's what we're kind of shooting for, is trying to get something that touches up to the top and to the bottom. Our next scope is the Rgb Parade. That's the full color portion of our image. R, G, and B, red, green, and blue. And we kind of want these to look similar to get a balanced color in our video. We can see that the colors are off. Like I said, this wall is white. It's not. You can see that the blue is lower in the highlights than the green and the red. So we kind of want to get those looking very similar. And then we get our vector scope. And basically, it's a color wheel. We get our yellows and our red, magenta, blue, cyan, green. So it's just a big old color wheel. And there's a hard to see line right here. Matter of fact, let's see if I can blow it up. And we're kind of trying to get this part here. This is the saturation of the color. We're trying to get it to follow this line more or less and get it out to about maybe here. So again, that's the saturation. And the center is where it's least saturated. And the further out it gets into the circle, the more saturated our image is. So we're going to want to adjust the color. And to adjust the color, we're going to use the Luma color tools. So we're going to go up to Window and click on Luma color. I'm going to show you a two-step process that, if you don't do anything else, will increase the look of your image. So we're going to go right here to where it says Auto. So click on that, boom. And just like that, we got a better picture. Got a little more darkness to it, a little more snap to it. Let's look at the difference before, after. That looks so much better. By the way, if you look at these, it all looks like it's just waveforms and stuff and doesn't look like it's really anything. Watch what happens when I scrub the video. There you go. You can see right where my head is. You can see it moving back and forth. So basically, this is this picture, left to right, left to right. So sometimes moving this guy will help you evaluate what you got to do to the image. Our second button that we're going to click on is right here, the white balance selector. Click on this eyedropper, and you're going to look for a light neutral area in your image. So in this case, that would be our wall. I know this wall is white, and I'm going to click right here, and look what happened. What did I tell you before? That you kind of want these three to look similar, and they look similar. Let's compare. Before, after. Big difference. 2 buttons, no heavy lifting, and we made our video look better. But let's do a little bit more. So let's go into the middle guy here. And let's start by clicking on our two little buttons. So we get a head start on our image. And let's take a look at some of the other adjustments we can do. First one we got is exposure. So I can either push the brightness in the image and look at the scopes, see where they're going up, or I can push the darkness of my image. Again, look at the scope. Contrast, on the other hand, will make the darks darker and the lights brighter. If I go to the right, if I go to the left, it'll flatten it out. See how it's constricting, expanding, constricting. And I'm kind of right now going to make a quick adjustment with this. Kind of get that stuff going up closer to the 0 and the 100. Maybe about there. And then we got our highlights. And again, I can make it brighter or pull back on the brightness. And then we have our shadows, where I can just do the dark areas. I think I'll put that right there. So where the highlights deal with the brighter areas of the image, the white is like the tippy top. And then the blacks, of course, is the darkest areas of our image. So we get our before and our after. Big difference